Hello everyone and thanks for watching Edupedia World videos. Well, today my lecture is on communication part 3. I am S.K. Puri and we will be covering following in this lecture. Number 1, breakdown in communication. Number 2, communication style of leaders. Number 3, interaction skills. And number 4, use of neuro-linguistic programming, that is NLP, the science of success in understanding communication. Well, welcome to all of you, and let us deal with those 4 items one by one. Our first topic of today was breakdown in communication. What are the basic reasons for a breakdown in communication? Well, we can see 3 major reasons for a breakdown on communication. One is that the empathy or the capacity for emotional knowing is fundamental to effective social interactivity, and if there is lack of empathy or the capacity of emotional knowing, then there is a breakdown. We have dealt this thing earlier also, that the sender of the communication must understand through his emotional knowing or through empathy the other person to whom he is talking. The second thing is that Roger, the great behavioral scientist, says that it is entering the private perception world of the other and becoming at home in it. That means communication is successful only if the speaker enters into the private perceptual world of the receiver. He understands him fully emotionally. Number 3 is being sensitive moment by moment to the changing experience of the other person, to a multitude of feelings, fear or rage or tenderness or confusion. I let him know I have heard him, many things may happen. What he is saying is that I must understand from moment to moment the changing experience of the receiver. If these 3 things are taken care, then the sender's communication will be received properly by the receiver, because sender is sending it by totally understanding the receiver. Now let us understand what is the self-awareness as well as to understand the other. To enter into the other's personal self is very difficult when emotions are very high. So the leader has to be neutral or understanding type, non-judgmental. If the leader has to communicate properly, he has to overcome the obstacle to effective communication by understanding the audience. Then the third is that he must self-regulate his anxiety and reduce his stress or manage his stress and reflect and refer to himself that what is the proper message that he has to give to his audience. Now the breakdown is occurring due to the issues arising from the sender side, receiver side or the media of communication. To avoid breakdown, we should have as much desire to understand the other as the desire to make the other understand you. We have dealt the subject of noise, the physical and the psychological noise. That should be the minimum. Now, communication style of leaders. Leaders are always inspirational and influential. And we have observed that there is a specific style of leaders to make the communication effective. Now look here. There is a leader speaking here. Leadership is different from management. Leadership is the ability to influence a group towards the achievement of a goal, whereas management is use of authority inherently designated in your formal rank to obtain compliance from others. Now here if you see, this leader is using his facial expression and hands and full body language to express himself or to influence the others. Look at this leader also. Here we are trying to say that it is not only the body language, it is framing of the language also there. But you can see the body language of using his hand. Leader use framing, selective including or excluding facts to influence how others will see or interpret reality. So choosing the right words is also important. Communication of style of leaders, we see four things. Management by inspiration. He inspires the people. Metaphors and analogies the leaders use very often. Number 3 is gearing language to different audience, taking care of diversity and globalization. He changes his language and the style as per the diversity of the audience. Then he is management by anecdote is another thing which he uses for making his communication effective. Now how he is creating impact creation. For creating impact, know your meta, number 1, know your audience, number 2, number 3 is audience checklist, means who are the audience, what kind of mixture is there in the audience. Then your dress and the enthusiasm is God inside you, then enthusiasm should be there. Then audio visual emotional impacts you can create by audio visual methods. The image creation is by the position of standing, the position of hands, the eye contact and the movement. Now communication is a must for interpersonal skill. Communication must include both transfer and the understanding of meaning. It involves both the parties of the communication. Remember the following things while designing communication in the interpersonal relationship. Number A, tailor the message to the audience. As per the audience, you tailor the message. Number B, empathize with others, understand their emotional levels. C, remember the value of face-to-face communication. Number D, practice active listening. Number E, make eye contact. When you make eye contact, you have to make the eye contact with the whole of the audience, with the whole of the group. F, use grapevine, the informal group as explained earlier. Grapevine communication or the informal group communication is much faster. Use feedback. You must understand the feedback from the audience so that you can have mid-course action while communicating to them. Now our next topic is use of NLP in understanding communication. NLP is neuro-linguistic programming. This is a science of success. And as you know, for being successful, communication skill is very important, and hence NLP has gone deeper into it. NLP is the science of success. The full form is neuro-linguistic programming. In the next slide, we will depict the 5 steps as per NLP for effective communications. 5 steps to communicate effectively. Step 1. Get out of your head. That means do not go on churning the thoughts in your head. Otherwise, you will not be able to communicate properly. Step 2. Pay attention and listen to others. Number 3. Help others get clarity by asking great questions. You can ask them questions so that you know whether others are understanding or not. Number 4. Keep it simple. Keep the communication very simple so that all step to you. Videos. Thanks again.